Hey YouTube, this is going to be a review and comparison between the HTC One X, the quad-core Tegra 3 International version, versus Samsung's Galaxy S2 of the previous generation of smartphones. This one is packing a dual-core 1.2 GHz processor, and this one, as I said, is a quad-core with a 1.5 GHz clock speed Tegra 3 processor. So, I mean, they're the main differences. The RAM is 1 GB on both models, and the screen size is 4.3 inches over here versus 4.7 over there. So the HTC One X is also significantly larger. So we can see it is thinner by looking at the sides, but only slightly. And to be honest, it does look better. It has a very nice matte finish, which makes holding it significantly more comfortable. Whereas the the plastic mesh we have on here just feels quite cheap, to be honest. We have an 8 megapixel camera on both, and they both do snap some pretty good shots. So the display we have on the HTC One X is a HD display, which is 1280 by 720, and it's a Super LCD 2 technology compared with the Super AMOLED Plus on the Galaxy S2. So you'll notice the colours are crisper and more vivid on this display, but there's a higher contrast level on that display. We will enter a quadrant benchmark. This should give us a good idea of the advances in performance from the previous generation single and dual core systems compared with our quad core current systems. So at the same time, I'll tap run for benchmark. Yep. So we can see the HTC One X is faster by quite a fair margin. But the scores at the end will tell us, really. So as you probably could tell, the One X pretty much aced that benchmark, running everything at a constant 60 frames per second. And the Galaxy S2 is not doing too bad either. So wait until both are finished and then we can send off the benchmark scores. I'll just keep this screen on by touching it. Okay. Right, so the Samsung Galaxy S2 has a score of 3,285 and the HTC One X has a score of 5,903. So really a pretty significant improvement in performance. Next up we have the internet browsers. So we will launch the stock browsers of both phones and see how they perform compared with each other. So let's launch that, and we'll both visit apple.com. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So I'd say it's very close, both machines. I'd say maybe the S2 maybe slightly beat the One X to it. Pinching to zoom is very smooth on both. However, as you can see with the Galaxy S2, you get more of this fractured effect of the web page, where when you zoom in, the rest of it has to reload again when you zoom out. That's less prominent on the One X, but still present. So both offer a very smooth and slick experience, and we have no problems here. The web page has flash content as well as fairly high resolution pictures, and both phones have no problem with that. So we'll try a different website. 3, 2, 1. Okay, didn't quite do that right. So yet again, the Galaxy S2 beats the HTC One X, which just goes to show that, I mean, dual core is not necessarily worse. Okay, and now we will load up GSM Arena. So again, we can see the Galaxy S2 is beating the One X, which, I mean, just goes to show that, I mean, 2 cores is not necessarily worse than 4 in some cases. So, you know, both, again, they load up very quickly, but the S2 did win. And as you can see, the browser is very well optimized for the S2. We'll try a few more web pages, and then we will take a look at some gaming performance. Here we go. About to enter the HTC website. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Very quick on both. As you can see, the flash content does play. And yeah, I mean, again, I would say, if anything, the Galaxy S2 did slightly win out the One X. And I mean, the One X is proposed to get a Jelly Bean update soon, which should improve the browser performance. But as it stands, you know, the S2 is definitely putting up a tough fight, and it seems pretty hard to justify the quad-core HTC being beaten by the old dual-core S2. So one final website. I mean, we'll try Samsung on its home ground. We'll go to Samsung's website. And here. Here we go. So 3, 2, 1. And I would say that one's pretty much drawn. So for the gaming comparison, I will be using Beach Buggy Blitz, which is a free game on the Google Play Store, and is a fairly good benchmark as it's quite a demanding game. So let's just get that up. So the One X is at a slight disadvantage in this benchmark because it has to run the game at a higher resolution. But we'll see if it still keeps up the same frame rate. So again, you can see that the contrast is definitely higher on the S2. And so is the frame rate, as you can see. Oops. The frame rate, you know, this is definitely a full 60. And this is difficult. I've never driven 2 cars at once. Right, there are a few Tegra specific features that you can see on the One X, such as the water droplets, and when you go into a cave you get a nice lighting effect, as you're just about to see, like that, which you don't get on the S2. But like I said before, they are really just add-ons which don't really enhance the game experience. They just add a few wow moments, perhaps, if you could say that. And I mean, yeah, the game is not any more impressive on the One X, even though the resolution is lower on the Galaxy S2 screen. The fact that it runs at a higher frame rate more than compensates for that. So I mean, to conclude this review, I would say I'm a little bit disappointed with the One X, considering that it doesn't really enhance on the experience of the previous generation of smartphones. It was released more than a year after the Galaxy S2, and by no means is it a bad phone. It's a great phone, but not only have HTC sort of ignored their own handset by not releasing the Jelly Bean update 2 months after they said they would. But the phone itself doesn't stand up to the dual-core S2 in terms of performance. I mean, theoretically, in terms of benchmarking, yes, it does. It does beat the S2, but in real-term performance, it really just doesn't hold its ground, which is surprising and just a little bit disappointing. So, thanks for watching. Rate, subscribe, comment, like, and check out all my other videos on my channel.